cold, too much wine, try to grab your. What is good, what is fine, I just called you Billy. I'm so hype on the clouds, firing up. I'm gonna take you out and dance that boogie. I got that fun for sure, make you wanna do it. I'll never let you go, you're too good looking. I'm about to rock your world, so let us groove it. Because tonight we're gonna see, we dance that boogie till you know that you're gonna be wearing my hoodie. We go up and down and up and boogie. Go up and down and up and boogie. We go up and down and up and boogie. Go up and down and up and boogie. Still believe in the hype though. That Billy thing was just a typo. You might think that I'm a psycho, but the voice in my head says I'm fine though. Still believe in the boogie. She says she believes in the boogie. They scream. So tonight, I'm gonna take you out and dance that boogie. I got that fun for sure, make you wanna do it. I'll never let you go, you're too good looking. I'm about to rock your world, so let us groove it. Because tonight we're gonna see, we dance that boogie till you know that you're gonna be wearing my hoodie. We go up
most done of Season 3 at this point, because I'm not sure I'd come out on top, and that might just be embarrassing given the channel here is twitch.tv/Nuale. But, you know, I'm sure we can find a way to work you in. Nobody can hear us still. Which
and
I'm
if not,
sure
we can just petition to rename the channel.
We're fixed. They can hear us again. We had, God, they missed excellent banter. Honestly, wonderful stuff all around.
It's like we're real friends in real life. That's what it felt like. We're not, but it felt like it.
I would never go and see Barbenheimer with Dylan. That'd be... well, actually, I would, you know, we could just sit in silence and not talk to each other for several hours. That sounds ideal, you know.
It's the perfect thing to do with someone you don't like. Go to the cinema.
So true. Excellent first date idea right there. Either way, hey, we should maybe talk a little bit about the fact that we are getting into week 15 of Mini RPG of the Week. The season has flown by again, at least a little bit, in part because I have missed large sections of this from dying, as you so kindly pointed out, and being resurrected as well. Yep. But we are, you know, plowing through this season. That's 60% of the way through, heading towards a season finale already, it feels like. Only a couple of months away from that. And then season 4 and some potentially big announcements in the future as well. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for those one in all the usual places, everyone. But I can't say anything more just yet. There is plenty to come in the future. Week 15, we have a map by MrBigleuz, who has provided many excellent maps in the past, has done some scenery for people. I believe he did scenery on last week's map as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we get tonight.
Yeah, as am I. I think MrBigleuz has promised maybe a return to some kind of more classic form of Mini RPG of the Week vibe to the map. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of presents itself in what we see as well. And yeah, it just sounds like it's going to be a pretty cool map to get to check out.
Yep, a little bit of short tech and a couple of assets created specifically for this map as well that we're going to keep an eye out for and see what they end up looking like as well. Looking forward to seeing exactly, as you say, how this one does play out. A little bit kind of techie as well is what's been said, which, you know, means some drift, means controlling your car around those corners, and usually means as well some speed checks that if you don't nail previous turns, at a guess, are probably going to be quite hard. That's just a little prediction from me, knowing what short tech in a mini RPG map tends to mean, and it means, hey, you've got to make sure that you're hitting those lines.
Just maybe it could mean that, and that means we have seen my favorite thing on a Mini RPG of the Week map, which is something that can just really tilt people. So I hope there's a lot of good tech in our map. We're heading in now to kind of see a little bit of the map for the first time our players or us are getting to lay eyes on it. We've got our 15-minute kind of familiarization round where the players will kind of get to grips with the map, and we're already seeing some players take a run at it.
Yep, and we're just ignoring whatever is going on in chat when we arrived in.
It's fine. My Wi-Fi is bad enough. I'm having to watch the stream on 720p, so I can't read what they're saying in chat right now anyway.
Watch it back afterwards, Dylan. In the meantime, yeah, let's get into this and see how it goes. And I will say, I think pretty immediately what I was talking about there potentially coming true a little bit. Very transitional start things off here. Very much about hitting your lines and managing to maintain speed. Trying to get a little bit more speed to land that jump cleanly. And then just holding your lines the entire way through. Speed checks maybe is a word for it, but I think it's more just transitional. It's making sure that you hit the right line to actually be lined up correctly for the next jump. And that's a hairpin turn. We'll see. Will it be this attempt that Skoon figures it out? No.
Nope. If all else fails, just keep going through.
Yeah. Just bang your head against the wall enough times.
Skoon just needs the speed to get over that jump. That's clearly the issue.
Exactly. I mean, hey, honestly, having played a few RPGs, sometimes that is just the issue. Something looks impossible, a jump looks like you can't make it, and you're like, that can't be the way, and it turns out it was just a skill issue. Corzo will just ride along there. That looks like it is a jump that is going to be... I'm interested to see how that runs in rounds, because Corzo obviously was landing very awkwardly there into the checkpoint, and it was a forced double respawn then as well. That's a speed check if I have ever seen one, and that is exactly what I was talking about before we got into this map. It's all about controlling your drift, controlling your speed around the outside here, because it is going to be hard to land it cleanly through the entire way. Or you can go up and around and down into it is what it looks like here.
Yeah, so there's kind of a couple of options as you're sort of heading into this speed check, but it does look like kind of one of them maybe is better than the other. We're seeing Corzo kind of take a couple of spins at it, maybe just getting familiar with it before we get into our proper rounds. Seeming to kind of get to grips with, at least for Corzo, how he feels more comfortable getting over this bit. and seeing a bit more of the track now as well. Again, kind of some more of these jumps where you just need to have the exact right speed going into it. Corzo didn't there. We see the reset. There you go. A bit of a safer line, a little bit more speed going into it. Seems to get Corzo through. But I am kind of seeing what we kind of saw predicted by the mapper, where there are these kind of techie bits in the map where you kind of, you know, exactly how you're approaching a problem is very important in terms of like actually not bonking on it. It seems like there's a map here with a lot of opportunities for some unfortunate bonks.
Yeah, but equally, and something else that MrBigleuz did kind of note is that he feels that the difficulty is relatively consistent throughout, right? It is kind of this techie transitional style the entire way through, but there's not really kind of massive spikes in difficulty anywhere, nor is there kind of particularly safe parts just watching through on a couple of these runs, you know? There's no places where you're going to be able to kind of relax for 20 seconds as you just kind of go through the motions. It is going to be fairly tight the entire way through. You know, every section at the moment looks like it could produce mistakes, could potentially decide a round, and that hopefully means some pretty tight racing and some pretty exciting rounds, especially towards the end. Yeah,
it seems like for some of our players who we've kind of been spectating on a little bit, maybe the biggest difficulty spike the map presents is just realizing that that hairpin turn at the beginning is a hairpin turn. I think we've seen maybe 2 or 3 players at this point just think that that's something you got to barrel through. So the GPS is a helpful tool, folks.
Exactly, and not a hidden one this time around either. Just drive backwards, see what the GPS says, and then follow it through. You can definitely see that this GPS is getting a little bit of height on a lot of these jumps, right? Like, it is going quite safe a lot of the time. Like, that was quite tight, but, you know, there was room to take that a little bit safer, and there's also room on a lot of these turns to take it tighter than the GPS is going, to go for a little bit less airtime, carry a little bit more speed as you go. And that also is going to lead to some issues in tight rounds for some of these players as you over push it. And this warm-up is going to be so important for kind of figuring out tolerances and maybe just exactly what speed you need to try and get through things as well. This risky fin looks very straightforward, I will say.
Yeah,
it looks lovely.
It looks like it's one of the least risky fins maybe I've seen.
Yeah, I would argue it's probably more dangerous to go for that safe fin.
That's what I was thinking. I haven't seen anyone go for the safe fin yet, but you sort of have to nail like the drop on the safe fin, whereas for the risky fin you just have to veer left.
Yeah, there's just a full-on road underneath that. All you have to do is actually, ironically, dodge the safe fin.
Yeah.
Which, hey,
so that's kind of interesting to see. Maybe it's a case of the map trying to play with the player's mind, you know?
Yeah.
It's not actually labeled risky fin or safe fin. It's just labeled red arrow and green arrow. So maybe it's making the players question their own unconscious biases about what different colors can mean, you know?
Maybe the green fin is the risky fin and is somehow quicker. I don't see any way that that's true, given that it is further away. But, you know, maybe.
Well, green, you know, a lot of dangerous things are green, and a lot of safe things are red. So
you're a zoologist, you know. You know all about
uranium's green.
That's yeah, sure. Well known animal, uranium.
The uranium molecule.
So true. I mean, it has a half-life, and that's kind of like being half an animal, right? That's my understanding.
I mean, all Half-Life fans are fucking animals.
You can't just say that. That's a well-respected franchise, Dylan.
We're seeing some weirdos in the chat who are trying to chat their way into a position casting the game. Don't do that. That's kind of parasocial. I feel uncomfortable. If there's any way to get this chatter blocked, maybe.
I think that's probably fair. Like, obviously, I'm only comfortable casting with people who I went to see Barbie and Oppenheimer with. So, a little bit unfortunate there. You know, maybe don't flake on the plans or whatever. Hazard is running through the map. Hazard is, of course, one of our most winningest players here in Mini RPG of the week. I still have not gone back and actually counted the records. I promise I will do it before the end of Season 3 at some point. And it's showing that, that's not a particularly risky fin.
No, and I mean, as well with Hazard there, I mean, Hazard obviously kind of is maybe one of our best recurring players that we do see on Mini RPG of the week, but Hazard just got a finish time of 55 seconds there. We were seeing from MrBigleuz in the document we received a predicted finish of 57, so we're already seeing a 55 in the warm-ups. MrBigleuz did kind of say you know, once the pros got a hand at the map, they might be able to shave some seconds off. And certainly if the 55 seconds we've seen this early is any indication, we could see that time driven down even a couple of more seconds as we get into our higher rounds later on.
It's very true, and I want to be clear on exactly what MrBigleuz's language was there, you know, discussing potential times on this map. It was 57 seconds is probably like a correct, if you get a good run, no respawns, 57 seconds is a good time. But when the pros are loose on my maps, they always make me lie, was the specific quote. And that has proven true very, very quickly here, already about 3 seconds underneath that. Yannick's will also set a 54-second run on this one. As you say, a little bit of time to be shaved off. Again, I think it goes back to that GPS run. I'm never 100% clear if that is exactly, or the author time's up there. It's a 56.6.
Okay, so even the author time made a lie out of the author's prediction.
Yep,
so,
exactly. And
it happens. It happens.
It happens to the best of us. And I think it really does come down when you're mapping a style like this, where really good players, as we have on this server at the moment as well, are just going to be taking absolutely everything out of every little jump, you know, just minimizing airtime everywhere possible, the tightest line that preserves speed as well. And it does mean, again, that there's a lot of room for optimization. It means that those 54s probably still not completely optimized.
No, I mean, this is still kind of an early prediction. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if we even see some like 53s, 52s by the end of this evening, as the players kind of get more familiar. And
53 or 52? Where are we going?
Where are we going? 52. I have belief. I believe Hazard, Yannick's. You know, we got all these players. Maybe one of them can shave like a 51.9 or something.
The 51.9?
Wait, 52.9. Listen. Listen, I just say numbers, okay? I think we might see some 47s, maybe some 48s on our map this evening.
I mean, hey, all it takes is one cut and off we go. I haven't really seen anywhere that where it feels likely we're going to get cuts. But again, in a map that's kind of this compact, that is transitional, where there's so many platforms and things, if the checkpoint spacing isn't perfectly laid out, that there's always the chance that someone is going to manage to sneak one in there. That's interesting from Jaxie there. Hate to focus on the mistake at the end of the run, but that definitely is like something we did touch on. Look, you're not going to miss that risky finish in the same way that you might miss a different risky fin, but it is quite a tight angle. You know, you're hitting like a relatively narrow window.
A little bit early. It did look like even with kind of that bonk that Jaxie did have just before they got into the risky fin, even having that bonk, I don't know if it actually cost them that much more time than it would have been if they had just gone for the safe route. So that could be something interesting to keep in mind. I don't know. I don't think anyone's really trying the safe route.
No, I think everyone immediately took one look at that risky fin and was like, yeah, I'm just hitting that one.
I can do that. Yeah, I can eat that risk. That's fine.
This is like minuscule risk and very high reward in this scenario. You know, it's not a massive time save because that safe fin is still very close, but like for a couple of tenths, you are risking very, very little indeed.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to get like a 47-second finish time on this map, you are going to want to save every couple of tenths you get, so...
You are absolutely, you're just so right. It's just incredibly true.
This is why you have me on, this type of commentary.
It's top tier. I'm going to be interested to see how many people we lose in round one here, because this is not a particularly long map, which means that, you know, we've seen a few maps over the minute mark, and, you know, some a little bit of a ways over the 1 minute mark. We're down in the low 50s at the moment for our rounds. So the finish timeout, not going to be very, very long. You know, it'll be 60 seconds to 90 seconds. I'm not sure exactly how long it'll be. We'll see when we get into our first warm-up round. But there are tricks here that, you know, our top players and players, not even just the top players, but players who have kind of played a decent amount of RPG and mini RPG in the past, they know how to maintain speed. You know what angles you need to hit in order to make some of these jumps. I think some newer players are going to struggle on some of these jumps. There's the one jump in the middle in particular, that's the steep uphill ramp into the jump onto the left, onto a raised platform with the lip in the middle. I'll call it out when we see it again here. That I think some players who are maybe less familiar with this style of map are really going to struggle on, and just making it at all in a round situation.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Definitely, I think that's kind of where sort of that techie aspect that was talked about was coming out, where definitely like this is a map where you kind of need to know, I mean, I guess on every map you need to know your fundamentals, but like your sort of tech fundamentals for this map for kind of these maybe sort of slightly weirder or like maybe less commonly seen jumps, some of which are on display here. I think we're hearing from Jaxie in chat. There's 3 different slow modes on the safe thing. That sounds rough. That sounds rough.
Expect to see literally no one go for that safe fin.
Yeah, so like definitely even with the bonk on the risky fin, you can recover from that faster. So like there's no reason to not do the risky fin, it seems.
I would say you could do a 3-point turtle and probably still fin faster. And you'd be alright in that risky fin. That's my guess. We're still going to see some players take the safe fin in early rounds, but it is going to be phased out very early on here, is I think our general understanding.
Yeah, I can't see. I don't know, depending on, it looks like we got about 65 players heading into the first round right now. Maybe that risky fin might be required like round 2 or 3 if it's that much of a slowdown with the slow-mos in it as well.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, completely agree. Hazard, meanwhile, has gotten down into the 53s already. You're 51. It's legitimately not out of the realm of possibility.
51.9 is coming. 47 seconds is coming.
Yeah. What is interesting, though, despite the fact that, you know, the AT has been utterly ruined already by these players, despite the fact that we are down into the 53s, we have just over under a minute and a half left of warm-up as well, is that consistency is a struggle on this map. We're seeing it from a lot of even the top players. We cut to Marius, we cut to Yannex, we cut to Ice, and players are still making mistakes. You know, on nearly every part of the map, we're seeing different errors come through from players. And that's kind of just the nature of the beast. Again, on a map like this, heavily transitional, lots of awkward little jumps, maintaining speed at all times. But again, it means that every round is a little bit of a potential trap for everyone.
I think so, yeah. Which, I mean, if anything else, it promises to be kind of an interesting spectator experience, where, you know, maybe one bad round, it could see some of our top finishing players maybe just not getting that time they need and getting disqualified a little bit early, which heartbreaking for them, funny haha for some people.
Love a bit of funny haha as well. I think I'm going to ask you, all right, once we tick down to the 0-second mark here, once we have all of the times locked in from warm-up, which of our top 5 players in warm-up you think is going to be eliminated first? Because I do think we're going to see one early surprise elimination here.
I'm try and take a look at the names here. Who we got? We got Hazard, Yannex.
Yeah, so 5 seconds there. Hazard, Yannex, Belingo, Artis, and Ice are the 5 players sitting at the top on times. Nearly all of them have gotten down into the 53s. Ice sitting just outside them on 54.044 best time. Hazard with a 53.5.
I want to say maybe Belingo. I feel like Belingo is the name I see in the top 5 consistently here.
Well, that's just Lingo, who is very consistently in the top 5.
Maybe if Lingo didn't change his name every single week he competes in this game. This is genuinely, I think, the 3rd week in a row I've been on where I've been like, I don't recognize this player, and someone's been like, that's just Lingo again. It's just a good bet, then
it's Lingo, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, whenever the Ingo's there, it's Lingo.
It's most of the time, even when it's not.
If there's just a player who's doing well and you don't recognize the name, it's probably Lingo.
Yeah, honestly a safe bet. We do have 66 players, so real quick. All right, first of all, prediction on how many players we're losing this first round. It is minimum of 8.
I am going to say we are going to see 15 players eliminated.
Oh,
next round.
So many. Yeah. Next round, we're going to be getting the eliminations. 15.
This is our safe round. This is our post warm-up round. I'm calling for a bloodbath. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, I think we're
a couple of weeks and I was like,
yeah, disaster. I think it's going to be 10. I've seen Black Pulse in chat. I saw it after I said it. Has said 11. Jaxie has gone for 9. We're really covering the spread here. 9, 10, 11.
I want someone to warm up my 15.
Someone called a 16.
We've got some people just really oversharing in chat right now.
I have been stunlocked by that message.
Yeah, I am just, okay. Round 1 of this game is happening. We're watching from Home Banner's perspective right now. Home Banner maybe seeming to have missed the warm-up round a little bit. Seems unfamiliar with the route through the map.
Yeah. Gonna have to learn it real quick in this next round because this is it. We are now into our first round of eliminations. Dylan calls for 15, I have called for 10, chat calls for 9, 11, Liffy has called for 9.5. I'm not sure he understands how a round works, which may explain some of his performance in previous competitions, but we'll see how things go once we get underway here, as the field already, some players struggling with this first jump here, and again, that's kind of what we said, is potentially the story of this map. It's going to be every single jump is going to be a problem for someone.
Yeah, I'm seeing Jaxie's Trackmania crash, so that's at least one elimination. My calls for a bloodbath are going well so far. If I can just telepathically get more people's games to shut down, we can easily drive up to 15.
Yeah. Also, can we very quickly see the times in the top right again? I didn't get an answer as to who you think from Hazard, Yannick's, Lingo, Artis, and Ice is getting eliminated first tonight.
I am going to go with Artis because after finding out that Lingo is one of those names I don't recognize, Artis is the next name I'd see the least in top 5. So.
That's fair, but I will say that that's because Artis started playing this competition seriously over the last month or so and has been pretty consistently doing quite well. So you know what? Okay. I'm going to go with the wild card and say Yannick's. I think he's prone to a dodgy round or two in the middle of a lot of our maps.
That is true, yeah. I'm going to stick with my guns because I am a man of honor, if nothing else. But if you're betting on me or Alex, I'd maybe go with Alex here. My bet was missing much.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, if anyone else in chat wants to get in on it, or if we have any mods in chat, it's Deployer. Deployer, you're the only mod in chat. If anyone wants to start a bet on that as well, I think that could be interesting. Let's see who in our top 5 times after warm-up goes out first. Yeah, that's right. It's not like you're running production or anything. You're not busy. So it'll be fine. Here we go. That's more than 8 eliminations, so we're definitely getting somewhere. No, it might just be 8. Kiting, no, it was 58.
Yeah, home banner's still in.
I think
kind
we're
of
just
seeming to become familiar with the map a little bit.
I did it.
10 players. You did it.
I'm a genius. Okay. Huge.
Well, it was really more like 9. You know, it was more like 9. You know, Jaxie didn't deserve to go out. Yeah,
that's very true. So you know what? That's fair. Here we go. 4 players will be eliminated in this next round as we rapidly cross underneath that 64 mark. And, well, it's still all to play for here. I think just taking the time to get more consistent now is really the key for the top players. You do not need to be pushing for time at this point. We saw, even towards the end of warm-up, that some players were struggling a little bit with just the consistency on various jumps. And so now's the time to clean that up.
I think so, yeah. Especially kind of players towards the back, like Kozdo, though, who we're watching right now. Kozdo could be that. Could be what I said. You know, I'm probably right, but Alex might be right either. Probably not. But so we're kind of watching Kozdo. We're seeing some of these kind of issues you can have with the jump, just kind of not getting your line exactly right. Seeing a little bit of it with Neryl Nam there as well. Or just it's really important to get the landing proper too. So. Interesting to see kind of how it all comes out. Yek in chat. Can we get a yek in chat from everyone else, please, as well?
I do not have the yek emote actually enabled, unfortunately.
I don't even know what a yek is.
The yek emote is a confused-looking deaf frog, because Yek, famously the deaf member of the Trackmania community.
Hell yeah. So I know all about Trackmania, by the way. I know all about Trackmania and all of its emotes. I'm qualified to be here.
Well, we'll see how this goes. That's an attempted cut. Unfortunately, did Seafield go through all of the checkpoints?
I think it missed a checkpoint there, although the timer has stopped.
Is that
a cut? That's a pretty decent cut.
Legitimate cut?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Can we keep an eye on was it Sifu? Can we keep an eye on Sifu in the next round? I want to see that cut again.
Was very far behind, so it didn't really matter in that round.
It did seem to save Seafield though. They were kind of, it looked like maybe on the brink of elimination, and it got them out of the bottom 4 if nothing else.
Oh, that's a full crash from Yek. Seafield is also having some struggles on the first few turns again, so that reroute at the end may not help all that much, unfortunately. This is kind of exactly what we were talking about. He's fully rerouted.
Okay. Seafield is doing his own version of the map.
I did say, this is the kind of map where, lots of platforms, lots of checkpoints. It is ripe for a cut or maybe a full reroute, and Seafield has gone for the full reroute.
This is super interesting. Yeah, wow. Okay, huge props to Seafield. Okay. I want to see this cut as we're coming up to the end again, because it seems like you cut a lot of the map.
Yeah. Well, so here, all the other players have to go left, I believe, to go and get that last checkpoint. Seafield took those earlier, and so we'll finish. That didn't look fast. I'll be honest with you, Dylan. That was still a 59-second time. It's good enough for now.
I don't want to shit on Seafield. I would like to see maybe that reroute in the hands of one of our better players, because it does look like Seafield has obviously done great work already, like with the reroute, but like it does seem like with kind of Seafield's lines and a couple of the like jumps, there's maybe a little bit of misexecution there. So I wonder how much time you would save with that, with the reroute.
Well, that is Seafield in chat completely agreeing with your sentiment.
Yeah.
If I was good at this game, it would actually be faster.
If Seafield can maybe just telepathically beam that information into Yannick's mind, we might see some interesting play.
Potentially. I mean, hey, maybe Seafield will figure it out over the next few rounds. We'll see. Still in for the moment, but has been kind of close to the edge still. It's a 59-second time. The top times at the moment on the server are edging down. I believe we saw a low 53 there in the last round as well. Can we just see the times very quickly there, please, Deployer? Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like it's about a 53.5.
Yeah, and there was so it's still 53 round winning times.
I think 51.9 is looking maybe unachievable, but maybe a high 52 could still be seen by the end of the evening. We still got a fair bit to play for. Still 53 players in honor of our contention tonight. Sorry for saying in honor there randomly.
Did a chat message pop up or something?
I guess I have, the brain of a sponge, so I can't not just repeat any word I'm reading.
Yeah, please, chat, do not abuse that feature of Dylan's brain.
Please no one randomly talk about ringworm.
Nobody in chat would ever talk about ringworm. Dylan, how does this track tie into the overarching lore of Season 3?
Well, there's an evil corporation, and this track is something to do with it. The reroute ties into it. I want to honor Seafield's reroute. Seafield probably won't finish top tonight, but I do want to immortalize their reroute in the lore of Mini RPG of the Week Season 3. The evil corporation built this track to find the perfect racer for some sort of evil scheme that they're up to.
Now, Dylan, are you just telling the story of Speed Racer back?
Yes, I am. Okay. Seafield, who is tonight's Racer X, he's broke all the barriers. Okay, he broke the beta. He said, "I'm not going to follow the plan of the evil corporation. I'm going to do my reroute." And this isn't a movie, so unfortunately for Seafield, that's not actually going to let him win. But it's the thought that counts.
Okay, so look, this is climbing related. So everyone who isn't interested, this goes out to exactly one person in chat, which in climbing, the route that you use to climb a wall may not be focused on ringworm at the moment. In climbing, the route that you use to climb a wall is called the beta, right? And specifically, that comes from one dude who used to, in like the 80s, record himself on Betamax videos and then offer them to other climbers so that they could learn the route on climbs that they hadn't climbed before. And
huge moment. I'm hearing we've got a second climber in chat. So our chat is now 50% climber.
Well, there you go. If any of you didn't know that about why everyone you talk to about climbing is like, oh, what's the beta on this route? It comes from one dude who was recording himself in the 80s on Betamax video and then giving it to people.
We respect it.
Oh, Seafield just stayed in.
Seafield does it. The reroute.
By a 10th. I mean, now you do have to ignore that they were well over a minute on that run, but just by a 10th, Seafield stays alive.
If nothing else, I am awarding Seafield the New Alaic Memorial Award for my favorite player of the night.
We love that.
Oh, we see Sinks go for it? I didn't think we'd actually get to see this. So yeah, we're seeing kind of the slow-mos Jaxie scouted out for us. That is. I want to say I don't even think the risky fin is that risky. I think it's safe enough that because you can keep speed going into it, it's probably safer than the safe fin.
Yep. I think Niall is claiming that he told me that fact, and it's possible he did, but if he did, I forgot it and then found it somewhere else afterwards, because I'm pretty sure I looked
think
it
we
up.
were like really sleep deprived when he told us about it. I do remember him telling me about it anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I independently rediscovered it after forgetting it while really sleep deprived.
That probably happened. You are a self-made man in every way, so...
Yeah, I stepped on so many heads to get to my position.
Niall is just being pummeled in the chat tonight. We try to keep a safe chat here, guys, where there's no... You know, we don't encourage meanness or bullying of any chat members, except for one. So...
it's the person who comes in to just start talking about having ringworm.
If you see anyone mention ringworm in chat, dox them. That's what I would advise.
It's for the best, honestly. It's for public health and safety. You gotta know who's walking around with ringworm. Oh, wait, hang on. The reroute. It's working. Seafield came 7th in that round.
Seafield is my hero.
Oh, no, Ayusaka was out that round anyway. The crash didn't matter. 2 seconds behind. Didn't get sniped, and no picks is bouncing to the finish. This is going to be the slowest. I'm not sure that the 25 seconds is enough to make it to this finish line.
I'm not sure.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah.
Vanished. Into the ether they go. 4 more players eliminated. We are inside our top 40. No picks is going to stylishly finish from the back of the risky fin by climbing up and over it and then driving on through. You love to see it. You don't love to see the end of another player, but that's the game.
That is the game. No picks. You could call it no wins, you know.
You could call it my DMs.
We're heading into our top 40 players. We've got 39 players right now. There's currently a prediction in chat. Seafill top 30. I voted yes. I want to see what some other people think. So chat. Oh, Seafill has switched back to standard way. I want to change my prediction back to general. Seafill has betrayed me.
You hate to see it. We do also still have an ongoing prediction, which we haven't actually created in chat, as to which of our top 5 players from before we got into rounds here was going to be eliminated first. Those players were Yannick's, Lingo, Ice, Artis, and someone else.
Alex, someone in your chat had 30k chat points built up, and they just pumped them into this prediction.
I feel like... Could be Jordan. We'll figure it out. Oh, it was Jaxie.
I thought I had a lot, but maybe it was Jaxie. I could see it being Jaxie. Jaxie's a loyal mini RPG of the week here. That would make sense.
Yep. Hey, we're going to see some players eliminated. Yek, unfortunately, DNF'd. He just DNF'd as well. Ness is gone. Not from Smash, but from mini RPG of the week. And Gamba is going to be eliminated too.
Seafill's still in?
Seafill's still in. I mean, you know, do we care about it anymore?
Unless Seafill goes back, I'm done. Okay, we're hearing that Jaxie can't spend points, so our mystery big spender...
What confuses me more is that it is telling me that Jaxie has managed to bet. So,
okay, so...
Oh, Seafill was going for the reroute.
Seafill was going for the reroute. We're so fucking back. We're so fucking back.
Where we ever
if anyone is a Swedish law authority in chat, please ignore whatever Jaxie is doing, okay? Jaxie is a loyal viewer, and we would never want Jaxie to be hounded by the Swedish authorities.
We'll see how this goes, because this is also quite a slow round for Seafill. Getting the back wheels caught there on the way through the reroute. Lost a little bit of speed early. We've already seen that with a couple of mistakes, this route is slower. Without the mistakes, it's maybe on par. I've yet to see proof that it is actually just faster than the regular route.
Seafill
this would be the round
does seem to be getting more to grips with it now, though. Kind of less of the issues with lines and kind of jumps that we were maybe seeing earlier. Definitely looks like Seafill's top 30 position is going to be pretty safe.
That was not a clean round either. That was...
No, and that was 11th.
Yeah. All right. He is, in fact, cooking at this point.
Seafill is cooking.
has found the secret sauce and is making their way towards a potential top 10 finish with the reroute as well. We'll keep an eye on that as it goes on. The top 30 looking pretty safe right now. One more round to lose that on potentially. We do lose BMX in this round alongside Nigel, Fair and Shako, and we're nearly into that top 30.
We're nearly into it, and Seafill is nearly into it as well. I'm seeing some people maybe on Copium in chat. It looks like we might just have one person who voted no on Seafill to make it into the top 30. Liffy, it might be unfortunate for you. You could be allowed to lose a lot of chat points, which I know are very valuable in this economy.
It's very interesting as well because that's a forced double respawn, I think. Or no, Seafill has to go for that. No, Seafill does go for that double respawn, I think, a lot of the time as part of this route as well, just to get speed for that following jump. We'll see. You do lose a couple of seconds anytime you are forced to do the full standing respawn as well, if you don't have to do it as part of the reroute. It's very interesting. The last checkpoint that Seafill goes through is a very good idea of where they're going to finish, because everyone else has to go and do one more checkpoint. So if Seafill is safe at the last checkpoint, Seafill is guaranteed safe. And I think Seafill is guaranteed safe this round. I think probably has already finished.
I mean, this is it, right? Like, kind of what we were talking about, and even Seafill was talking about, saying they wanted to see one of the better players try it. It's a reroute that has enough of a time save that even with kind of non-optimal play, it gets you through. Seafill!
Oh, still alive! Still alive! It was okay. Okay, clearly something went horrifically wrong for Seafill in the middle of the route there. Finishes a solid 8 seconds behind first place in that round. And still stays alive. Mitch F1 eliminated alongside Vic and T, Elementor, and Lucky Error.
Liffy, unfortunately, the repo men are on their way to repossess your entire house. So...
Yep. Your legs are going to be broken. I think the main bet we have now is between me and you, who gets eliminated first, Yannick or Artis. There were the other players in the top 5, but all I remember is that Ice was there and Lingo was there as well. I can't for the life of me
Hazard,
remember.
I believe, was in there as well.
Hazard was number 5
I think it was Ice, Yannick, Artis, Lingo, and the fourth person in there who I didn't say. Was it Yannick? Did I say Yannick? I can't remember what I said.
Lingo, Ice, Lingo again.
Artis. Twice, I don't know.
Yeah. We have seen plenty of other players set some good times since as well. Le 43 or Le 43. Is that French? I don't know. Maybe. Hey, I called it. I said the dodgy Yannick round was the dark horse. Here it is. Yannick sitting towards the back at the moment. Yeah. He has managed to climb back up, I think. No, he's still in 25th.
No, still bottom 4.
We'll have to see. Seafill is the wild card right now. We'll see how
Seafill for number 1 position tonight, maybe?
We'll see. Someone veers off to the right. There should be a couple overtakes. Should be
Yannick has made the recovery.
Where's Seafill?
If Yannick is going out early, not going out yet.
Still alive. Seafill, Lingo's gone. Lingo's out of here.
Oh, shit. Okay. So
24th.
We're both wrong. Yeah, okay.
Both incorrect on this one. It was Lingo.
I'm just glad that we both lost.
Well, you know, it's for the best. Lingo will be eliminated. About half the squad of ECL, I don't know what squad that is, I apologize, gone as well. And Lingo, probably another dark horse, occasionally just has a dodgy round, but will be eliminated. Look, between the two of us, we'll still see. I had not seen that this was the start of the reroute. That's entertaining.
I love this. Seafill has done magical things to our map tonight, and I'm so here for them.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Oh, will be forced to respawn there, so again, in danger.
Yeah. In danger, but I don't know. He's got a plucky heart, if nothing else.
He's an anime character. He's on that comeback arc. Rampant versus Vortex. Look, these players down just outside the top 20 at the moment. Again, Seafill playing a little bit of havoc with, you know, those standings going through the checkpoints in a different order. Does confuse the poor little scoreboard. It just can't quite keep up with what's going on. Jet Dark Titan down in 20th. Yannick, once again, having a little bit of a rough round on this one. Is going to need to catch back up. Maybe Yannick is going for some reroute near the end as well, and that's playing with the scoreboard, but I don't think so. I think that is just struggling a little bit.
Kind of
in previous rounds, it's going to be a slow finish. Where does Jet Dark Titan finish? That's the main question. Yannick will bounce, and Yannick will be eliminated in 20th place. Dylan, I'll be over at your house for the repo men to take everything you own.
Oh, is that you predicted he would go out 4th out of the 5? Was that what you predicted?
Well,
I'm not sure.
Look, between the two of us, I was more correct.
Listen, don't worry. I'm sure in self-defense, Liffy is going to kill all the repo men before they can get to me. So, Liffy, my house is in your hands.
Well, I mean, enact violence on tax collectors. Seafill?
Seafill going for what I just love here, the little reverse.
Well...
Or
no.
not. What's happening?
Seafill is just watching the GPS instead.
No one is doing it like him. Dude's rock.
But that's Seafill eliminated, I think.
Okay, Seafill.
Yeah.
Seafill had enough. He said, no, I'm out.
No, unfortunately got a GPS bug where I think the GPS started earlier because the GPS is just if you stay still it starts. And so locked into GPS, Seafill will not be finishing this round. Unfortunately, it looks like DNF's that is the end of a magical run.
Is there any way we can just like let Seafill through? Is that possible?
Wildcard, yeah, Caster's wildcard pick into the top 10. That's unfortunate. Them's the break. Seafill will be eliminated. Shaka close to the line, finishes in 12th, no problems there. Artis looking to be eliminated on this round as well, and that is Seafill and Artis both gone in a single round. One of the top drivers along. So Seafill hadn't set the world alight with times just yet, but has been eliminated and had captured our heights.
Seafill, I am saluting.
Yeah, 07's in chat for Seafill as we get into our rounds of 2 eliminations. It was always going to be a brutal round, that last round of 4 eliminations, but losing both the reroute and Artis in one round means that, well, there's space at the top definitely at the moment. Again, Le 43 or Le 43. Just don't come at me when my pronunciation is bad. Ice is still in as well. Marius having a safe old time of it at the moment. Manjmal Bolev has had a quietly good evening as well, but is looking to struggle a little bit as we head towards our top 10. We do have a new best time on the server as well. Ice with a 53.3 in that last round is looking quick.
53. 52 is still possible. I believe 52.
It's still possible. I think it's going to require a level of risk that we are not going to see in these final rounds, would be my guess.
I want to say this. I want to know if maybe one of our top players on the Seafill route, maybe the 58 could have been possible, you know?
The 58 could definitely be. We saw Seafill get a 58 on that route several times. 48.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe.
The 52. Listen. It's actually unbelievable, Alex, that I come on your stream, I help you out, and you also like expect me to pay attention to what's happening. I mean, come on.
It's so true.
Seafill's out, man. I've been tabbed out of this stream for the last 5 minutes.
Just stopped watching for a little while. I'm not sure what happened at the end of that round. A lot of question marks in chat from the players, but I don't know what it was for. No times set massively high, but we do have a couple more eliminations. We are now nearly down into our top 10. One more round before that, but this is the round that decides whether or not you even get to fight for top 10 in that final round.
Yeah, this is our pre-top 10, pre-round elimination round, where 2 people go out. Nice. We have it every week. It's our most famous round that we have here on Mini RPG of the Week. So many French cars. Jaxie currently describing the experience of anyone playing Trackmania or driving in France.
Me when I visit the Arc de Triomphe. So many French cars. Deployer not happy about that one getting in our ears, but I'll tell you what, possibly the scariest place to drive on Earth, whatever that famous roundabout near the center of Paris is. Just awful. Just true. Why would you do it to yourself? We'll see who gets eliminated. At the moment, it's looking rough for Adalada and Bimob, who I just want to call Bimbo because that's what my brain interprets that as every time.
I've been thinking it's Bimbo the entire time.
Full of respawns there means Adalada might be safe. We'll see where Shaka ends up. It is 10th. Adalada is safe. It was Raceland with a respawn and Bimob too far behind, DNF'd as well. Sniping their way in, Adalada and Raceland.
Sometimes it doesn't work out for Bimbos, and the world is a crueler place for it.
Dylan, I know you've seen the Barbie movie, okay? We'll not have that kind of talk on this stream.
I need to rewatch Barbie because I accidentally said Bimbo on stream.
you clearly have not internalized the messages of that movie. Oh,
so we are coming into, we've got our top 11 here. We've still got kind of Ice and Hazard. They were some of our top 5s from the warm-up rounds. They're still in right now. We've got some other kind of players doing well. Marius, of course, is another one of our classic sort of good performing mini RPG of the week racers also doing pretty well. But even our racers who are kind of not doing so well in this round, kind of Beetle and Atlanta and Ishaka a little bit, still doing pretty good, but it's just become very tight now where unless you're kind of getting your perfect lines, your perfect jumps, you're not keeping up with that top crowd. What about himbos? I love himbos now.
God bless himbos. The world needs more of them. And Dylan, you're absolutely right. You need good you need good lines in this, and I think what is interesting to me here is seeing as well something that we talked about early on, which is that, yeah, it's still a bit of a struggle. Like, even consistency for players who are fighting for top 10, it's still a little bit of a struggle, you know? There's still some issues. Beetle could get sniped here by
Beetle just going for the reset, not even accepting the safe in.
Honestly, probably the right decision. Ishaka, well, Ishaka is now a long way down, but will finish there. I think if Beetle doesn't go for the respawn there, they get eliminated. So, good decision making.
Yeah.
Well, they got eliminated anyway.
Get eliminated anyway, so
but they made top 10.
Beetle did make top 10, where, I think if Beetle had kind of committed there to that safe fin, the slow-mos in there might have got them into 11th place rather than 10th.
Yeah.
So we're hearing in chat that LE.43 is Quinton. Again, if anyone in this game could just keep a consistent username, as a caster, I would love that.
Wouldn't we all? At least it's not as bad as the old Rocket League trend of players just replacing every vowel in their name with the letter X and then giving out when casters pronounce their name wrong.
At least that's sick, you know?
But at least it looked really cool.
If we've learned anything in the past couple of weeks, it's only the coolest people on Earth want to change things to the letter X.
Elon Musk is going to be replacing that O and a U with an X in his name legally any day now.
How far, what do you think we have to do until we can get Elon Musk on an episode of Mini RPG of the Week as a player?
Just lean heavily into the American right wing or something, I don't know.
We just need to start spreading rumors that Grimes loves this game.
So true. This is a tight race at the end. Rampant will just miss out. A couple of tenths in it at the end as Ice just about snuck into 7th place there. The top player at the moment nearly got eliminated. And Ice's time is not unbeatable at the moment. I think it's a 53.4. A lot of players around that 53.6. We've seen pretty consistent round-winning times in those mid-53s across the entire evening. And players are all getting to the line pretty much consistently now as well. Those consistency issues ironed out as we head towards our top 5. Our last round of 2 eliminations, and this is going to be tight.
It is, yeah. We're kind of seeing this tighter group up at the front. Vortex maybe hanging back a little bit. Zizay as well could be maybe on the cutting room floor at the end of this track. But we definitely are kind of seeing up here already our top 5 forming a little bit. With that kind of consistent grouping, we've kind of seen these guys at the top for a lot of our race this evening. Zizay seems to have made a pretty good recovery out of the bottom 2 as well, so might get Zizay through. The ghost of Yannick has rejoined the game. Yannick is going to do something.
Yeah, Yannick is just watching over on stream there. You'd imagine that's a rough line for Zezé. This is a tight battle down to the finish. It comes down to who gets across the line. It's a slightly better line for Zezé, but I don't think it's good enough to catch up to Marius. It doesn't matter because Hazard made a mistake and was slow towards the finish. Will finish in 6th, gone before the top 5.
Yeah, we were talking about locked in. Only one of them, who we were predicting at the start, managed to actually make it into our actual top 5. Ice is the only one who made it. That's got to be a bit of a heartbreak for Hazard.
Yeah, and if we get a quick look at the times as well, I believe Ice is still the time to beat on the server as well, with a 53 point low. It's lower than 53.355 because that was the round-winning time last time around, set by Quentin, because that's easier to say than the 43. I'm just going to say Quentin. That's a rough start. That's going to be Zezzy gone. There's no way back in.
Yeah, I don't think... The C-Fill reroute?
I don't think so. A little bit late to say. Given that requires you to reverse off the start line, it may be a little bit late. But we'll see. It is going to be a cruise to the top 4. Again, you can't massively safe on any of these, but there is room to just take your jumps a little bit higher to go a little bit more relaxed as you head on through. Ice currently sitting in 4th place, but Zezzy is DNF'd, and so now it's just make it to the finish line and you're okay.
Yeah. I'd like to see Ice maybe do a donut in this case, you know? Just to acknowledge how safe Ice feels right now.
Fair, just go for the safe fin. Go for the flex. Might as well at this point. Won't be the case. It will be a quick round this time around, 53.8 to win it. Not the fastest winning time we've seen, but all players within a couple of seconds of each other there. Down to a top 4. and things are only going to continue to get closer here. We've kind of said it for a few rounds now, but we are seeing some pretty tight battles starting to come out.
We're hearing in chat Quentin will Wenton, so keep an eye out for that.
It's Quentin will Winton, I think.
Quentin will Winton. You were calling him Quentin last round, okay? So.
Yeah, and when he wins, he's going to head out to the Chinese and he's going to celebrate. Quentin will wonton. Quanton will wonton.
Nice. Quanton. Yeah, Quandale Ding.
Nailed it. Hey, that was Ice making a mistake, crashing fully on that jump, it looks like. Has managed to recover, but now a couple of seconds behind the rest of the field. This could be Ice getting eliminated. Is near exactly 2 seconds behind Marius at the moment. And if you're looking for a mistake, I'm not sure you're going to find it. Where's Quentin? Is Quentin crashed out? Quentin is dropping behind. No, it's still up the front there. The name just vanished for a second behind another car.
Just above Marius. Nako as well. We haven't really talked about Nako this evening, but Nako has been doing pretty consistent as well. Is currently at the head of the pack. If this was the final round, Nako would be taking it home. It's not, so that's not going to happen. But at least Nako will be in that final round. It does not look like Ice will.
Nope, that's the DNF. That is Ice eliminated. That is, you know, kind of what we called out that risky finish for early on. Is despite the fact that it's not very risky in a tight round, trying to shoot that gap, the narrow window that you have to aim for, could catch someone, and it could yet decide our entire evening. Marius, Quentin, and Nako are top 3, as you say. Nako in particular, not a player that we've talked about. Marius, a player that we haven't seen all that much of so far this evening. And, well, Quentin we only really talked about because they have put up some excellent time so far. Currently sitting with the second best time on the server. But that's not enough to save you. It's current performance that will carry you into a top 2. And at the moment, Quentin is sitting a little bit, just a fraction of a second behind Marius and Nako.
Yeah. Who are you backing, Alex? Who do you think's going to take it home tonight?
I think I'm going to back Marius.
I'm going for Marius as well, yeah. I think Marius has been pretty consistently good tonight. Although, again, all of our top 3 have, and Marius is now dropped in the back, so we instantly cursed him as soon as we voiced any support. Truly the caster curse. The prediction was 100% Marius.
Quentin hit, and I thought Marius was off the edge. Quentin will miss. Marius is in. 420 behind Nako, but that is good enough. It is Marius versus Nako at the end. That was a strong late push from Nako, but just a little bit of a miss at the end.
I think what Quentin has revealed is, in the top 3, you probably don't want to go for the safe route. You know, Quentin definitely did it intentionally, and unfortunately did not get him through. The risky fin was the way to go. Down to Marius and Nako as we're into our top 2. Again, 2 players we've been pretty quiet on tonight, but that's just because they've been sort of so consistently performing well. We haven't really had anything to say about them. Nako pulling ahead a tiny bit, but it is pretty neck and neck. We're seeing kind of both these players just have a good grasp of the lines. Nako again is kind of widening that lead a little bit, but Marius is not really letting anything slip away. Yeah, 2 kind of quite skilled, equally matched players, it would look like, with maybe Nako just having the advantage.
Just the smallest edge at the moment. Marius has been going relatively safe on a lot of these jumps, and that has allowed Nako to pull out what is at the moment a 2/10 lead. It'll be extended now as we round the last couple of corners. Marius risks more on that final jump. Nako went safer, but the gap too big. You're looking for a mistake from Nako on the finish line. If it doesn't come through, this is their night. Will hit the finish.
Well done,
it's not a fast round, but it is Nako closing things out cleanly. GG's. Congratulations to Nako, winner of Mini RPG of the Week, Season 3, Week 15.
Well done, Nako. Good round. And well done to all of our players tonight, especially the real winner of my heart, Seafil.
That's true.
We're seeing Seafil like times from the winner of this week's Mini RPG of the Week.
Yeah,
you're exactly right.
It's so true. The 54 seconds, look, it was not a very fast final round, but it was kind of, to a degree, what you expect when you see Marius in a top 2 as well. He's going to play it safe, put the pressure on his opponent, and it's carried him to a lot of wins in Mini RPG of the Week over the many, many weeks that we've had at this point. You know, just the pressure, knowing that Marius is going to make it to that finish line without respawning, without major mistake, has caused players who are, on paper, faster to make those mistakes, but not this time around. Nako kept it clean all the way to the end and manages to finish with a first place, and that will wrap things up then for Season 3, Week 15 as well. Thank you very much to everyone for joining. Thank you, Dylan, for joining as well. As always,
Thank you, Alex.
This is a request. build maps, everyone. Go and talk to Z-Ray. Go and make sure that we have maps for the future, because hey, you get to see action like we had tonight. It's always fun to see what the players can do with it. If there is a reroute available, great way to figure it out. And if you want to, fix the map before you put it up, or just leave it there as a possibility. And of course, there's always a little bit of support in making those maps happen as well. Z-Ray has been great helping mappers get those across the line and making sure that we continue on. Dylan, any closing thoughts?
If anyone knows Seafill, get him a pint from me. I won't reimburse you for it, but tell him it's from me, okay?
Well, I think that's the note to end things on. Thank you again, and we will see you back for next week of Mini RPG of the Week.
See ya.
This evening blue had nothing to do but lay around with my thoughts of you. Was it so tough and the world so lame?